All right, what we're going to be doing is altering the bar chords that you know already just a little bit to make seventh chords, because sometimes you want a seventh chord instead of just the the plain chord. So if we go to fret 5, I always like to start on fret 5 here, and we do the E form bar chord, okay, the E major form, and that's an A chord. We know that's an A because the note right here is an A note on the 5th fret, so that makes it an A major chord. Well, if I want to play an A major chord and make a 7th chord out of it, an A7, then all I'll do is lift my pinky, and then I have the A7. So if you're playing from a chord chart and you see A7, you can do this. Or you can do this. And we learned the A7 chord open string this way. But you can also, if you need to do it as a bar chord, just lift the pinky up and you have it. So that's A7. So let's practice. If I said play a G7, there's 2 ways to do it. You can do it this way where we did open string. What's the other way to do it? Well, which note is a G on the low E? If you remember, it's the 3rd fret. There's a G note right here. So that's going to be your G7 chord. So you find your E major form bar chord on the 3rd fret. It's a G chord. And all you do is you do what? Lift your pinky up. And you have it. Make sure you have a good bar down, because that pinky note is one that's most people, if they can't get a note down, that's the one. And that one is the 7th of the chord, so you need it. All right, so if you're muting it, and we can't even hear it. So make sure you have that pointer finger flat down so we can hear it. So that's a G7. Let's try another one. How about an F sharp 7? All right, well, we know that this is F, 1st fret, and this is F sharp. Or what's the other name for it? G flat. Okay, so we do an E major form bar chord right here. Lift the pinky up, and you have a 7th chord, an F sharp 7. So if you see F sharp 7, then you know to do this. All right, so now let's do minor 7th chords. If you see A minor 7, okay, we learned it as an open string like this already. If you don't remember, you can review that and go back and do that again. That's an A minor 7. It's not an A7, it's an A minor 7. But I can also do it this way. I can find the E major form bar chord here on A and lift everything up except, or actually keep your ring finger down, but lift the other 2 fingers. Okay, so all I have is the bar here, my 1st finger, and I have my ring finger still on the same string that it was on. And then I have, that's a beautiful chord. Okay, so that's what you do. That's a minor 7. So A minor 7. G minor 7 because of the 3rd fret here. G minor 7. Okay, A minor 7. B minor 7. C minor 7, 8th fret. All right, kind of sounds jazzy, doesn't it? All right, so those are the E forms, the 7th chords. Now, let's work on the A form chords. Now, you know the A major form is like this. You use 2 fingers. This finger's doing the root note, and then your ring finger is barring the DGB, 2 frets away. Okay, so if I go to fret 5 for the A string, now this is a D note here. All right, I'm doing a D chord. If I get the 3 middle strings, the 4 middle strings. All right, and what I can do is add my pinky right here on the next fret, and I have, that gives me a D7. Now that's kind of difficult, because this is hard enough doing this, and then add the pinky in on the top. But that's how you can do it. That's a D7. What would a C7 be? Well, you come down to a C note here on the A form and do that. Now that's a regular C chord. Now if I add the 7th, I put my pinky down, and then I have a C7. C7, D7. How would I play an E7? Well, this is C, this is D. E is on the 7th fret on the A string. So if I would do it here and then add. And what can I also do? I can add this low E here, because this happens to be an E note, so I can let it ring this time if I want to. So that's a E7. These are major chords. Okay, it's an E major chord adding a seventh to it. All right. Now let's do the minor 7 chord on the A string. All right. Now we already know the A minor form bar chord to be like this. Okay. So on fret 5, fret 5 on the A string, we know this to be a D note. So D minor would be like this. Okay, we've done that, so you should have that down by now. It's a D minor chord. All we do to do a D minor 7 is lift up the pinky. And I have it. There's a well-known song that goes. And it's just using, that's not the right key, but they're using that minor 7, but it comes in handy. So what we've done is we've learned we've added 7 chords and learned 4 new ways to play the bar chord, okay? So let's do this. Let's go to the A chord, and let's play it all the ways we know how to do it on the E form. Well, we know A major, right? We know A minor. We lift up the pinky. So that's A minor. Now if we want to do A major 7, we put the fingers back down, lift up the pinky. That's an A7. An A minor 7, you would keep the ring finger down. So that's an A minor 7. Okay? So those are the 4 ways on the E form. Now let's go to the A form and do the 4 ways. First way, major. Basic major. Now let's make it A7. Add the pinky. Now let's do an A minor form here. So it'll be a D minor chord here. We're doing the A form now. It's D minor. I lift the pinky. And we have D minor 7. Alright? So a lot to think about. You might want to make yourself a little chart. Just draw the guitar neck and put the names of the notes here. And I've already told you those. So you can write those in and write how to do the different forms. You don't really need to know what they mean, but you need to know what to do whenever you need to play a C minor 7 or a D major chord or whatever. So that's that.